Okay, hello everyone and welcome to today's gameplay stream. I am DSP, sorry that I am starting so late. I've had nothing but technical issues this morning trying to get this stream up and running. So I certainly hope that you will be patient with me. I have a few things to cover on today's pre-stream. I see that people are joining the stream now, as it looks like, people now know that it's working. First of all, today we're doing Crash Bandicoot 2. Why are we playing Crash Bandicoot 2? Some of you might be saying this is very odd. What is going on here? Phil is playing this old-ass game out of the blue, right? Well, it really isn't out of the blue. Here's what happened, ladies and gents. Earlier this year, as a Patreon goal, I actually did... Oh, wow, there's a big bug on my wall. Great. I just noticed a big-ass bug on my fucking wall. I'm going to have to go get a spray can and kill this fucking thing. But anyway, earlier this year, as a Patreon goal, I set up a marathon, and it was going to be between 3 different classic games. It was like Banjo-Kazooie, Crash Bandicoot, and Sonic the Hedgehog, okay? And I was having a lot of fun. With any of those, I was like, man, I would really like to play any of these games, quite honestly, if I get the chance. So I wonder what people will vote for. Well, the voting happened, and people voted for Crash Bandicoot 1. And so earlier this year, I did this it was actually around a 6-hour marathon, and then with breaks and stuff, it was a little longer. And it was a grueling-ass marathon, and after all of that time, I did beat Crash Bandicoot. But I was so drained, because that game, for those who don't know, who've never played the original Crash Bandicoot, is pretty freaking difficult unless you're playing an emulated version with save states, because there's limited lives, there's limited stuff that you can do in the game. It's incredibly hard at the end of the game, some of those stages. And it was very draining, but people loved to see me rage, they loved to see me fail, and finally, eventually triumph. So now, fast forward to a month later, I did another Patreon goal, where if I reached a certain funding amount, I was going to do a second marathon, and this one would be, again, there was polling. Crash Bandicoot 2, or Sonic, or Banjo-Kazooie, and Crash Bandicoot 2 won out that poll, okay? And so, I did hit the funding. I did decide to do the marathon. And I did Crash Bandicoot 2. And, it was exactly what I had promised. It was going to be around 7-hour stream of Crash Bandicoot 2. Now, here's the thing. Unlike Crash Bandicoot 1, Crash Bandicoot 2 is a much easier game. The game allows you to save after every single stage, which is great. The challenge of the stages is not in particular as high as Crash Bandicoot 1. It's a much easier game overall, okay? And since it is an easier game, I started playing it, and I realized, man, if I just go through this game just completing the stages normally, this is going to be quick. I'm going to beat this game in a few hours. So I said, instead of that, let me challenge myself, because I knew that a lot of the appeal of the original marathon that I had done of Crash Bandicoot 1 was doing, was that it was hard, and I was raging, and I was really challenged. I wasn't getting that challenge level out of the stages of Crash Bandicoot 2. So as I was playing it on the fly, I decided I'm going to do a more completionist run. I'm going to try to get all the collectibles, which means break every box in every stage. I'm going to try to get all the hidden gems, and basically do this completionist run of the game. And I had a lot of fun, and in general, the feedback that I received was very positive. They said, wow, we're happy you did that, because it is a much easier game, and if you didn't do that and gone that extra step, the playthrough probably would have ended quickly, and it wouldn't have been a very enjoyable playthrough because the game's so much easier. Okay? So, I played around 7.5 hours, or it was around a 7.5 hour stream, and I played a little bit under 7 hours of gameplay, that Crash Bandicoot 2 marathon. Okay? All of a sudden, I started getting all this criticism from various parties. So I'll be honest, most of them were people who were not patrons, people who were not contributing to the goals. They were just people who want to fucking whine to make me look bad. You know that group of people. You know who they are, right? And so, they basically complained, why did Phil not beat the game? This is not what he promised. He said he was playing Crash Bandicoot 2 and maybe moving on to 3, which actually wasn't what I had promised at all. I said it was going to be a 7.5 hour stream of Crash Bandicoot 2. I never said if it was going to be a completionist run or not. I never said any of these things that people decided to pull out of their asses to make me look bad. Alright? Now, there were a group of people who were disappointed. They said, man, we really liked watching Phil play that game, and it sucks that he didn't finish it. We would like to see it completed at some point. And I said, well, maybe it'll be another marathon goal in the future. And that's when I got this backlash. Oh my God, Phil is going to do another Patreon goal, another marathon goal. He wants more money to play this old game. That is not the case at all. The thing is, and this is the thing with Patreon that people don't seem to understand, or at least can't get through their heads, even though I've said it multiple times. The way that Patreon works is that for a certain level of funding, a certain level of pledges a month, you reward the people who pledged. So the Crash Bandicoot 2 gameplay was a reward for reaching that amount of funding. This is not a game that I would have just pulled out of thin air and played otherwise. In fact, I'll be honest, I probably would not have played the Crash Bandicoot series this summer if it weren't for a special reason. There's lots of other stuff this summer that I wanted to do that I never even got to do. Alright? And so, therefore, I say, I'm trying to explain to everyone this, and they don't want to, a lot of people just don't want to hear it. They just want what they want, The fact that I'm here every single day streaming for you at least once, if not multiple times, giving you so many hours of free content every single week, that's not enough. People always want more, right? They're never satisfied. And some people were very ungrateful and pretty much insulted me, saying stuff like, I'll only play games for money and all this. Absolutely ridiculous. And ultimately, I left it at, well, if people want to see me play Crash Bandicoot 2, then I'll play it. But in August, because this was the last month of the summer, I had a certain amount of time to play things before new releases started coming out. What did people want to see me play? So I did. I actually opened it up and I said, please give me feedback on what you would actually like to see me play in the month of August. It was funny, because about a week or two had passed since the Crash Bandicoot 2 Marathon. When I opened it up like that, probably one person said Crash Bandicoot 2, and everyone else picked something else. Play this game, play that game, do this, do that. So I knew it. I knew that ultimately, even though there were a group of people who wanted to see me finish Crash Bandicoot 2, it wasn't the mainstream viewing audience. It was this vocal minority, as they say, or it was just people trying to make me look bad and say that I had promised I was going to do a full playthrough of the game when I never had. Alright? But ultimately, I left it at, I will eventually, hopefully, go back to the game when I have time. And it just so happens that today, I have time because there's not a lot going on at all. Right now, I've got 2 days before new releases start in October, and then we're going to have new releases every single day. So now is the time, if I'm going to play this game, to play it. Okay? So I'm going to start momentarily, but there's a big bug on my wall, huge thing, looks like a beetle. I'm going to go grab the bug spray the shit out of it. Then we'll finish the pre-stream, and then we'll start. So give me a second. I'm going to go downstairs and get the bug spray. I'll be right back. God damn it. Fucking bug. Stupid beetle. Fucking thing. Giant fucking beetle. Live right now. This fucking bug disturbed my stream. I'll show you.
Holy shit, that is big.
It's a huge beetle.
Never even seen that before.
See, it's huge.
Oh, that's not a beetle. That's one of those freaking stink bug type things. They're all over Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah, but I think it's only if you squish it does it smell. I think you just have to like.
Well,
yeah, those things are nasty looking. That's not a beetle though. That's one of those little brown. We call them stink bugs, but I don't know if they're actually the stink bug. But they're nasty.
I don't want it to jump. I don't know if it's going to.
It doesn't from what I understand.
Well, now it's coated in bug spray. Fuck.
I think it's dead now. I would hope it's dead.
Oh my god. That thing's destroyed.
Well.
If that thing survives, it's fucking resilient.
It's just gonna, like, hang there? Ooh. Oh, it's twitching. Ooh, it's twitching. Ooh, it's trying to move and get away.
Dude. I wish I could get a picture of it for the stream, but there's no way I could get it with the webcam. Ugh. Gross. Die, you fuck!
Yeah, those bugs are all over Pennsylvania. They're pretty gross.
Stop hanging on. Die!
Jesus, yeah, I think you got it. It's barely alive. My God.
Whoa!
Whoa! Fuck you! Fuck. That's what I get for trying to take a picture of it for you, piece of shit. It fell near me.
He's down there somewhere.
It could have fallen on me. Jesus Christ. Oh, shit. That scared me. God damn it.
I think you fell down there behind the shit.
Fuck. You're an asshole.
Why am I an asshole?
You laughed. You laughed at my potential demise.
Well, that thing's fucking dead now.
Jesus. Those things are gross. God damn it, they're in Washington though too. I swear to God, if one ends up in my
Snuck
office.
in my goddamn window, stupid fucking bug.
Now I gotta check my office. So paranoid.
Well, here's the bug spray.
I don't see anything, but as long as they stay in your office, I'm fine.
All right. Well, the most entertaining pre-stream ever. Fuck. Ooh. Of course, now my office smells terrible. Now my office just smells like fucking bug spray. Because I had to spray the fucking thing. Oh, man. Fucking shit. Ooh. Well, I'm going to try to air out this office for a minute before I start playing Crash, because I want to pass out from bug spray. So for those of you who are just joining, there was a huge fucking bug in my office. Leanna thinks it was one of the, what they call stink bugs. And it was on my ceiling, well, near my window, near the ceiling. And it was annoying the shit out of me just looking at it, 'cause it was crawling across my ceiling. So I grabbed the can of bug spray, sprayed the shit out of it. And it took about a minute, but it finally died and fell to the floor. And that's what Leanna freaked out about, because it fell off the wall. And she was like, ah! Because it fell off the wall, coming towards her. But I don't know where it is now. It's on the floor dead somewhere over there. I'm not going to bother trying to fucking find it.
It's a stink bug. I googled it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're green, but that one was brown.
Whew.
I want a green one. Yeah, I swear to God, one of those ends up in my office, though. Swear to God. I fucking hate those things.
Alright, so someone says, why didn't I squash it? I couldn't reach it. It's too high up. It was on the ceiling, so there's no way I was going to be able to reach it with like a step stool, and my office is crowded enough. So I'm trying to air out the office right now. So anyway, let me get back to what I was saying on the pre-stream, okay? So, after doing this Crash 2 marathon back in July, which had been much different than the Crash 1 marathon, because the Crash 1 marathon had focused primarily on me just beating the game because the game was so hard, right? It was so difficult. The Crash 2 marathon had been focused on doing the side content, and therefore, or not really side content, but completionist, you know, getting all the collectibles. And I hadn't gotten all the collectibles. I'd gotten about a little bit more than halfway through the game when I had finished the marathon. And like I said, some people complained. And I'll be honest, the people that complained, 99% of them were not patrons, so they really had no grounds to complain whatsoever. But they still complained that I had promised something that I did not come through on, and that's a complete and utter lie. Alright? I had promised a 7-hour gameplay stream of Crash Bandicoot 2, and that's what I provided. I had not promised that I would be doing completionist run or not, and I felt that doing that made the playthrough more entertaining. And people agreed. People who watched the videos actually said it's great that he did that, because this game's a lot easier. If he hadn't gone for all the items, it would have been a quick playthrough, and it wouldn't have been as good as the first one. Alright? And I said, you know, the possibility that maybe for another marathon I would have gone back and finished the game. And a lot of people put up a stink about that, which I don't understand. Again, the only reason I played the game was because it was a Patreon goal, not because I wanted to play Crash Bandicoot 2. And that's the whole point of Patreon. With these goals, you're trying to motivate people to pledge, so that if they pledge a certain amount, it's a reward. It's not, oh, a playthrough I would have done anyway. That's what I think a lot of people have as misconceptions with Patreon, is that I'm trying to set up goals of things that I normally wouldn't have done. I'll be honest, this year, with this Halloween marathon that's kind of up in the air right now, I might not have done it. In fact, I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't have done it, because there's 3 games that come out that week: Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Halo 5, and WWE 2K16. And there's no way that I would have foregone playing those 3 games for an entire day to do a Halloween marathon unless it was a reward for Patreon, you know? And that's what people need to understand. And people are made some shit up that I have content hidden behind a paywall. That's not true at all. All of my content is free. This is a special event, not a content hidden behind a paywall. You're not paying me money to see a game. The game is a special reward if we happen to hit a goal level to motivate people to do. It's a lot different. But people will say whatever they want to try to make me look bad. It's only been doing that since day one, right? Since I started on YouTube in 2008. But I felt I should clear the air here because I was pretty pissed off, quite honestly, when people wanted to say this shit about me back in July. Okay? Bullshit. And so I said, okay, I will, eventually maybe go back to Crash if people want to see it. And as I said, no one really wanted it. I asked people in August, what do you want to see me play? And just as I had predicted, I knew this was going to happen. It was just people trying to make me look bad, saying that I should play more Crash. It wasn't actually the viewers who wanted to overall see it. I asked in August several times, and no one really said play Crash. They said play this instead, play that instead. So I did. I played more Fallout, and I played this game and that game, Just Cause 2. A lot of people wanted to see Just Cause 2, so I played some of that. I played as much of the games as I could, as I had time in the summer. And then, as you know, this past month of September, except for a few days in between, it was a pretty decently busy month with new releases. Not to say that they were all great, because they weren't. And they certainly weren't huge playthroughs or whatever. But it was a fun month doing all the new content. So now I have 2 days where I am able to do whatever I want, because new games are coming out this Tuesday, and it actually looks like we will be doing new games daily throughout the month of October into November into December. I'm going to be so busy with all of this, right, that I know I'm not going to have time to stop and do other projects. And it just so happens this week was a dud week where Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 was a piece of shit and I don't ever want to play it again. And NBA 2K16 was a disappointment because the story mode's only like 6 hours long, and after that the game gets incredibly difficult out of nowhere, and I just am not having fun playing it. So I said I will do more Crash Bandicoot 2, alright? Now, some questions to answer here. Yes, there will be face cam. I've got the face cam prepared right here. Look at my lovely hairdo. I've got the everything ready to go here. Whoa, what is that? Oh, look at that. It looks like there's a light above my head. It's not. That's the PlayStation 3 logo right there. So yeah, I got the face cam. We'll be doing face cam. All right. Number one. Number two, I'll be attempting the completionist run, but I have absolutely no idea if or how I'm going to be doing it, or if I'm going to be beating it today. The good news is I also have tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm also going to be playing this. So if I don't get too far today, we'll do it tomorrow as well. I want to forewarn everyone, I'm having issues with my PlayStation 3, which is why today's stream started so late. My PlayStation 3 is having issues with the HDMI port, just like my old PS3 did 2 years ago, which basically means it's probably on its last legs. And the good news is I am using the cloud save to back up any games or whatever I've been playing. The bad news is it doesn't upload the cloud saves for PS1 games. So I hope that I can beat this game within the next 2 days, because if this PS3 conks out, I lose my game save again, just like I did 2 years ago with all the games I was playing, which sucks. It is what it is, and I'll be honest, I don't have money to buy another PlayStation 3, so if this conks out, it conks out, and I guess that's going to be it for PlayStation 3, at least games on PS3. I don't know what else to say about that. Alright, so that's really it for the Crash Bandicoot stuff. I'm going to be starting in a few minutes here. But I do want to say one final thing on pre-stream, because we have about over 400 people on stream and growing. So I want to clear up the situation regarding the Halloween marathon and everything that's going on here, because I keep getting people saying shit. Again, it's the same assholes. I know it is, but I'm going to clear the air for everyone who may be questioning stuff. There's a Halloween goal, or a Halloween mini marathon that was a goal for pledging in the month of September to my Patreon, just like the Crash Bandicoot 2 marathon was a goal, alright? And I was hoping to hit the goal, and then we would do this marathon. The Halloween marathon is not something that I would normally do. And people have been saying, but you do a Halloween special every year, and I'm tired of this. It's a complete lie. I haven't done an actual Halloween special since 2012. If you actually go back and look at the content that I put out over the years, in 2012, which was 3 years ago, when I had, about double the viewership that I have now, yeah, I did a whole day Halloween special during the busy hardcore gaming season. I did. I haven't done one since then. The people who were saying, oh, you did Halloween special every year are liars. In 2013, I did a, 2 hours, not even, of Fatal Frame 3 as a little special thing that I did with Leanna when she visited. Remember, that was before we lived together. And when she visited, every once in a while, we like to play a few games together. That was not planned. That was not a Halloween marathon special for a day at all. It was a little quick impromptu thing that we did for an hour and a half, and it didn't get a lot of views, and it wasn't anything that we ever continued. It wasn't a special Halloween planned celebration like I have planned for this year, a whole day. Last year, I didn't do a Halloween special. People who are saying that are lying. Last year, I did about 90 minutes of Tomodachi Life gameplay where I put on Halloween clothing. That was my Halloween special, which wasn't a Halloween special. It was just 90 minutes of Tomodachi Life to break up the content at the end of the month. So don't listen to everything you hear. People are lying because they want to make me look bad. I had no plans to do a full day Halloween special for years, 3 years now. I liked doing them back when I used to be able to, but I used to have double the viewership that I had. So back then, I had double viewership. I could take a day off to do a Halloween special and a Halloween celebration and stuff like that. I can't do that anymore, especially when I'm going to be in the middle of, monstrous amounts of new games. I'm going to, like I said, just that week, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Halo 5, and WWE 2K16 come out. For me to take time out from that, it has to be something special, like a reward for reaching a Patreon goal level. Then I'll do a day-long Halloween special. But I'm not going to do it unless we hit the goal level. And so I do want to let everyone know, FYI, okay, that I will be, I will be checking Patreon regularly. Right now, we have not hit the funding levels. My typical goal is $1,250, and I did not hit that yet. And I think it was like a good 20 people now are showing as declined, as in they did pledge, and if their pledges actually went through, I would have hit all my goals. But their pledges didn't go through, and because their pledges didn't go through, the goal didn't get hit yet. All right. If it gets hit, then I'll do it. But I'm not gonna budge on this, because if I do a special as a Patreon goal and I didn't hit the goal, then what's the point? Then there's no motivation. And it completely undermines the point of the system. Why even have a goal if I'm going to do the goal anyway and cave every month? So I'm not. We're going to see what happens. And we'll go from there. But right now, I'm hopeful. Like I said, right now, there's over 20 people who were declined on Patreon for the month of September. And a lot of them were like $5, $10 pledges. So if those go through, if people check their, their funding information and they update it or whatever, okay, then that's great. Then we'll, if they update it, we'll go through and we'll do it. But we have to, so I'm just saying this up front. If you did pledge in September and you're not really paying attention, your pledge might have been declined, and you got to check it out on Patreon and update your info. I heard a lot of people got denied because they had issues processing PayPal this month. And I get the feeling most people probably use PayPal when they pledge on Patreon. So definitely check that out. And hopefully in the next couple days we'll have good news. I want to do the Halloween special. Understand that. I want to. But I'm not going to cave and just do it, because then there's no point in having goals at all. All right? There's just not. There's no point in having them if I'm going to cave. And I'm just going to do them without actually hitting the funding levels. Okay? And despite what everyone, all these fucking idiots who aren't patrons of mine might say, because that's the thing, the people who complain aren't patrons. These people who make all this drama up, and they spam my fucking Twitter, and they say all this nasty shit about me all over the internet, are not patrons. So they have no voice in it whatsoever. They're just there to say negative shit. God forbid that I try to run a successful business and, have a Patreon account that, has allowed me to improve my business so much this year. So, it is what it is. I got it off my chest. Now I've covered everything. I've covered the Crash 2 controversy. I've covered the Halloween Marathon controversy. I've talked about everything. Alright. So, let's get started, everyone, with Crash 2. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to need the stream chat's help. And I don't want to hear any fucking bitching. Oh, you're holding his hand. The game's 100 years old. And there's no way to know what the secret objectives are of these stages unless you fucking know or you look it up. The game doesn't tell you. So, if people, who have played this game before, could tell me, you know, what are the secret requirements for the stages so I know what to do to get the gems and such, alright, then we'll do that. Alright, that's it, everyone. Let's get started. What do you say? Crash Bandicoot. Fingers crossed the HDMI cable actually works. Okay. Alright. Sounds good, sounds good. No more bugs coming in my fucking window. Alright, here we go.